Welcome to Behind the Veil. Now, here is your transformational coach, Tammy Hawks.
Okay, so I love to start out by just getting the intentions out there. So my intention is to take you as far as I possibly can in this short time that we have together. And I'd like to know for you, if I could give you, impart one thing to you on this call that would make the biggest difference in your life, what would that one thing be?
A better understanding for the reactions that my husband has as far as like not understanding me for one, and he has anger issues here lately. So there's a lot of, I guess we could go more into that as this call goes on, but
So,
there was an
yeah,
issue the other day.
No, I totally want to go into that, but I first want to get the intention. So you want a better understanding of his reaction, his quote unquote anger issues.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Now, what happened the other day?
So the other day, and this was like literally just 2 days ago, there's a lot of misunderstanding on his side with me. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very emotional person, and I'm the kind of person that when I open myself up to someone, it's hard for me to control my sensitivity and my emotions because I've literally opened my heart up. And he just doesn't understand that part of me with the way that I take things or react to things with, crying. I don't know how to handle all that because that's just who I am, or the fact that I'm an empath. And so when he's angry, it immediately will change my mood to where I'm like irritable because I can feel all that negativity. So we were in an argument and he was just, I don't know what to do from here. We've only been married a month. And he brought up the word annulment. So it's like immediately wants to just kind of like step out when there is an issue because of a communication barrier.
Okay. And you guys just barely married and you're how old?
I'm 38 and he is 53.
Oh, he's 53. And are there any previous marriages?
Yes, he's had two before. I've had one.
Okay. How long did yours last?
My only other marriage. We were together for a total of 12 years, but our marriage only lasted 4.
Okay. And were there any kids?
Yes, 2.
And what about him?
His first marriage, I believe, was 9 years and with 2 children. And then his last marriage was 15 years with 1.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And now you and your husband have been together how long?
5 years and some months.
5 years and and then you just barely got married.
Yes.
A month ago. Okay. So were the anger issue, did you guys have this issue when you were dating?
Here and there, but not to this extent. It was more, okay, I'm angry. And then a few minutes later, it's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been angry. But now it's like every day and we could talk through it, but then he's just like kind of lingering, like just kind of holding on to it. And we'll bring up the conversation again. I'm like, we've already talked about this. Like, I thought that we've already settled it.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
it's not usual for him. He's not usually like that.
for you, does this relationship in any way resemble your last marriage?
In this last argument, yes.
Yeah, tell me the ways that they are alike, please.
A lot of doubt, and communication barriers. So the last marriage, it was like 2 months in, and it's, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't have gotten married. Didn't bring up the word annulment, but it was in the same sense, kind of like it makes me feel like it's a regretful type of thing. Like now that it's done, you regret it, you bring it up because things are just hard.
So things are hard.
But things are hard for everybody.
Things are hard for everyone?
Yeah, like if you think about it, all of the economic, financial, the stress of being able to make it day by day. And I guess the stress of feeling responsible to support and provide.
Okay. So when you think about, you talked about how you're an empath and you feel everything. What does it feel like when his anger issues arise?
Heavy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heaviness in it, and it floods into my emotions. And then it's almost like I feel like I'm being dug into a hole and dirt is being poured on top of me, and I'm just being buried alive.
Okay. So I want you to close your eyes, relax your body, make your spine straight. And I want you to feel into that emotion that you feel like you're being dug and put in a hole and buried alive. There is a place in your body where this emotion is stemming from. First impression, I want you to put your hand on it. What color is it? First impression,
Black.
black. Okay. I want you to see that black projecting out from that area. And I want you to notice that as it's being projected out from you, that there is a picture attached to it. And allow that picture to get very, very clear, because this picture is the first time you felt this emotion. And as that picture gets clearer and clearer, I want you to recognize and notice when was this experience? Is it clear to you now?
It feels more confusing because
Was
it's
there
like
more than was there more than one was there more than one picture that came up for you? Keep your eyes closed. Was
the
there
main picture would be the relationship I had with my dad in the last 5 years, and
Okay.
probably from last year. My dad unfortunately passed in April of this year. So
So tell me, was there a clear picture of an event?
the last conversation I had with my dad.
Okay. Perfect. So I want you to allow that picture to get nice and clear. And I'm going to have you go ahead and jump into that picture as a third party, just witnessing what's happening in this image.
We have a lot of back and forth um, argument, a lot of misunderstanding in that argument, um, the anger on both sides, and a lot of defensiveness on both sides.
What are you angry about in this picture?
I'm not sure.
Is there a memory that's even further back that is more closely tied to the very first time you felt this emotion of being buried alive?
And that would have to do with a few years before this time. And it would be with misunderstanding and almost like a sense of like people wanting to control me and what I do in life,
Is there
mainly how my dad was.
is there a time even further back? How far back can we go where we can follow the very first time you felt this emotion of being buried alive?
I was about 20 years old.
Okay, you have the event, you have the picture. Can you tell me what was happening in this picture?
I had a high school boyfriend who pulled apart from me and essentially broke up with me for another girl.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also misunderstanding in that when it comes to my dad, um, as if it was my fault. The blame was put on me.
The blame was put on you.
Yes.
Can we follow that even further back? When was the first time you felt like the blame was put on you? When was the very first time you felt that emotion of the blame is placed on me? It's my fault.
That's as far back as I could go.
Okay. So I want you to go ahead and find the moment that you felt that emotion the deepest, where you felt responsible, like you were to blame for all of it in that breakup, is there a clear picture of a time, an event, a conversation, a moment?
My dad is sitting at the table and basically yelled at me that it was all on me. I'm the one that drove him away. It almost gave me like a suffocating feeling, like because I wasn't being understood or validated for my feelings.
Mm-hmm. And as you are witnessing in this picture, I want you to notice you. I want you to notice that dark bubble around you and all the emotions that you're feeling. And I want you to go ahead and move into that bubble with your younger self, your 20-year-old self. Be in that bubble with her. Experience her emotions. I want you to feel them. I don't want you to name them. I want you to feel them for her. And I want you to let her know that you came all the way back from the future to relieve her of this burden that she's been holding on to all this time. That you are going to literally feel these emotions for her until they are completely emoted. So I want you, like threading a needle, I want you to walk through that dark bubble. And as you feel it, as you take on those emotions and feel them fully, notice how that dark bubble dissolves. That's right. As you move through that bubble with her, notice how that dark bubble dissolves. And as you do this, I want you to actually connect with her emotions as well. Tell me, what is she feeling right here in this moment?
As the dark bubble dissolves, a
Yeah.
little lighter.
What is she feeling about her dad in this moment?
There's an understanding with him, knowing that it's a sense of protection and it's not about me. It's about him, and he doesn't want me to fail in life like he feels like he failed.
Mm, he failed. So you're going to his emotions. That's how he's feeling. But how are you feeling in this moment? How is your 20-year-old self feeling in this moment?
Less angry,
What is she believing about herself?
and that she's enough and worth it no matter what choices in life are being made.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Lessons are always going to be learned, and the only thing that she can do is take those lessons and basically put the puzzle pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody but herself can figure the things out in this life. Nobody can do that for her. Nobody can fix her but herself.
Can you fix her?
I can help her
How
because
can
she's me.
how can you help her?
Taking those lessons now at this age, almost 20 years later, and help her put the puzzle pieces together.
What puzzle pieces would she like to put together?
How to be able to handle other people's emotions without letting it affect her personally.
Mm-hmm. How can you help her with that?
Knowing that, or letting her know that the reflection of how people are projecting their emotions is not her fault, and it's not a reflection of who she is herself. It is a reflection of who that person is themselves.
Beautiful. Does she believe you?
Yes,
What color is the bubble now?
it's kind of a purpley, like a light purple.
Mm-hmm. What does she need from you in this moment? She
To
need
stay strong, true to myself, a hug.
Can you give her a hug?
Yes.
Could you tell her that you're always going to be here for her and that you've come all the way back from the future just to be with her in this moment, and that any time that she needs you, that you will come back to be with her. Now, how does that purple feel to her? What are the emotions attached to that purple?
It almost feels a bit free, light.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Now, I want you to move your attention back to your father in this picture. And I want you to notice that he has a bubble around him. First impression, what color is that bubble?
It's a heavy, dark color.
Okay, I want you to go ahead and be with him in that heavy, dark color. I want you to actually feel his emotions like you did with your own 20-year-old self. I want you to go be with him in this bubble, thread it like a needle, and feel his emotions. What is he feeling right now?
On the heavy side,
Yeah, describe it as best you can.
he feels sad
What is he sad about?
that he can't be the best that he can be as a father, a friend, a brother, a husband.
What else is he sad about?
There's a homesick feel, like he doesn't feel complete.
Why doesn't he feel complete?
He always strived to do the best that he could do in the support, in providing, in making sure that we had everything that we could have in this life. But he doesn't feel complete because he doesn't feel like moving us from an unknown into an unknown was the right choice. There's a feeling of regret.
And what is he regretting?
Isolation, isolating us from family, isolating us from culture, from traditions, cultural traditions.
Is there something that you can give to him that would help him feel better? What does he need from you right here in this moment?
Acceptance.
Can you give him that?
Yes.
What else can you give him in this moment that would help him feel better?
A reassurance that he does the best that he can with what we know we can do.
Can you forgive him in this moment?
Very much so.
Will you hug him and tell him that you forgive him? Let the emotions come. Don't hold them back. That'll just keep them stuck in your body. I want you to feel them. Pain that little girl still has is trapped within you until it's fully felt. So I need you to feel those emotions and stop swallowing them. Give her permission. Give her permission to let them go once and for all. The only way you can do that is by letting them out. I want you to hug your dad. I want you to tell him that you forgive him for everything, that you knew that everything he did was because he thought it was for the best for all. He didn't know what he didn't know, what he now knows. So I want you to allow him to know and hear from you right here, right now, that everything is okay, that he learned the lessons he was supposed to, and so did you. And I want you to thank him for those lessons. I want you to thank him for all the pain that he placed on you, not knowing, because all that pain created this beautiful, perfect, wonderful person that you are today. And as you tell him these things, I want you to see, notice, recognize, is that bubble changing at all in color?
Yes.
What color is it now?
Just turning more into a white.
Beautiful. Do you see the look on his face changing? Is it softening at all?
Yes.
Beautiful. I want you to let him know that you will always be here for him, that anytime he needs you, you will come all the way back into this moment just to be here with him for this time. Like your younger self, I want you to commit to helping him when he needs you. And when you feel it's complete, I want you to go ahead and pop up out of that room. In your mind's eye, I want you to move up about 30 feet above that moment in time. And I want you to imagine 30 feet from that room. I want you to imagine looking down into the room and seeing you and your father in that moment. And I want you to go ahead and move back in the past. That's right. I want you to go even further back, all the way back to your childhood, all the way back to you at 4 years old. And as you hover above you at 4 years old, I want you to go ahead and look down and see you at 4 years old. And then I want you to go ahead and be in the room with your 4-year-old self. and notice, witness what is happening in this picture. Can you recognize the room that you're in?
It's my childhood home.
What's happening?
In this moment, I'm seeing us walking through the house that we had just bought and moved away from a place that we had known that is over 5,000 miles away. A lot of innocence.
And how are you feeling in this picture?
She's a little confused just because it's something new and she's so young.
What else is she feeling?
A sense of excitement,
What else is she feeling?
a sense of awe because there's this big house, this big new house, and our old house was just so small. It's almost like feeling like a little princess.
Oh, so she's happy.
Mhm.
Wonderful. What color is the bubble around her?
It's kind of pink.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give her in this moment?
No matter what she goes through in life, that everything is okay and everything will always be okay, and to always believe in herself, always stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
She can achieve anything that she wants.
Mm-hmm. What else?
She's beautiful, she's worthy, she's enough, she's loved.
Mm-hmm. Is there any more advice that you can give her that she could take with her that will completely transform her life and make it the best it could be?
To always know that even when it feels like she's not doing her best, that she is.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you would like to tell her?
Love herself, value herself,
Mm-hmm. What else?
always stand your ground. And that plays a part in value and worth. Never let anyone walk all over you, take advantage of your heart, because your heart is worn on your sleeve, and that's just a part of your personality. That's just a part of who you are. And it's no one's job to take that and crush it, protect it at all costs without seeming like you're so closed off and cold-hearted.
Mm-hmm.
You can still protect that without having that side of being closed off and emotionless. And
And what's the best way for her to do that? To still keep her heart open into love and yet still hold her boundaries.
reception.
So there's some sort of tool, some sort of something that you can give her to impart this wisdom to her so she always has it with her.
This might sound funny, but it's the first thing that came to my mind. It's almost like giving her binoculars to be able to see
Mm,
beyond what's in front of her,
mm,
into that other person and
beautiful.
into this world, like into this life.
I love that. What color are these binoculars?
They're like a blue.
So I want you to take the blue binoculars and I want you to place them around her neck because they have a little strap on them. I want you to place those on her neck so she'll always have them. And it will be her signal for all that you just said to impart all your wisdom to her. That way she could carry it all throughout her life. And when it feels complete and it feels really, really good, I want you to give her a hug goodbye. And when you see that big smile come over her face and you know she's feeling absolutely wonderful, I want you to let her know that you will always be here for her, that you will come back anytime she needs you. And when it feels right, I want you to go ahead and pop up out of that room. I want you to go back 30 feet above your head, 30 feet above that moment. And I want you to look down and see your 4-year-old self. And then I want you to go ahead and make your way back to the present. That's right. I want you to make your way back to this present moment. And as you do, I want you to look down in your mind's eye and I want you to see all the old structures crumbling beneath you. That's right. Absolutely crumbling disintegrating, falling away. And as those old structures and old pathways disintegrate beneath you, I want you to see the strong new structures come up to replace those beautiful, strong structures that align to this now chosen reality. That's right. I want you to see them as you're making your way back to the present moment, realigning, reestablishing, creating those new pathways, the new structure. And as you see yourself come back 10 years from now, 5 years from now, and I want you to just hover right above you, sitting right there in your body now. And as you see you, I want you to drop down. I want you to see the top of your head opening up to receiving all of you. And as you come back into the body and reintegrate with the body, notice the new changes. Notice all the new pathways, the new changes, the new sensations, the new feelings as you release so much negative emotion trapped in your body. It's allowed for this new space, this open, receptive space, for these new energies that you now choose. With all the wisdom of the past, letting go of the old, creating the new. I want you to come through the top of your head, filling your entire head, coming down the neck, the throat. And as you're coming down, notice that these new beautiful energies are penetrating each and every cell of your body, going deeper and deeper and deeper, coming down to your shoulders, filling your arms, coming down to your waist, your hips, knees, toes, completely reintegrating all systems with this new, aligned, beautiful energy, releasing all the resistance of all the old stuck energy as you shine the light of your consciousness, revealing all the shadows they disintegrate and align to this new system and pattern that you now choose. Take a deep breath in, realigning, wiggling your fingers and toes, coming back into the body, feeling centered, energized, so good. Bat your eyes open and notice how you're feeling.
It's almost like feeling brighter, lighter.
Mm-hmm. Brighter and lighter. That's nice. Anything else?
It's like seeing a clearer picture. I don't know if that would make sense. Like I have new eyes in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Tell me
Like
about that.
like even the colors around me have a bit more brightness and more vibrance to them.
Beautiful.
I don't feel heavy at all. I don't feel like I want to just pout or
Mm-hmm.
cry. Like even if I tried to force myself right now, it would be hard to do because I know that I am stronger than that.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any new revelations or understanding from that connection of the relationship with your dad? Did you see any connections to the romantic partners you've chosen?
Like in what way? Can you elaborate just a little bit more?
Yeah. So when I asked you when we looked into your emotion, as in what you feel like in these relationships, your romantic relationships, you took me back to two pictures of you with your dad. And that's how it goes. We pick our partners based on our childhood, based on the dynamics that we experienced and were created very early in life, those first 5 years. So if I worked with you for an extended period of time, we would get down to those first 5 years because that's where this relationship dynamic with your dad was created, which is the reason why you have this relationship dynamic with your romantic partners.
My dad was a very protective person. Um, he wanted to shelter as a part of protection. Like, if I keep her from this, then I'm protecting her in every way possible. I can sense that even in my husband. He's a very protective being. And it's almost like at times I do feel like I'm treated like a child. I don't know if it's because of age difference and, he's experienced
Well,
a few more years
and
than
that's
I
another
have.
thing too. That's another thing that you were drawn to within him. So, you're drawn to a controller because you're the supporter. So supporters and controllers are drawn to each other, right? So your dad was the control. We become a prototype of our mom or we become a prototype of our dad. And the system sets in, like there's a system not so much in place when you're dating, but once you get married, when you said, "Hey, I've been with this guy 5 years, but we've only been married a month and things have changed so much." Well, it's because a new system has set in. So we literally become a new person with each setting system. Oh, now I'm a mom. New system sets in. So we're pre-programmed, and that system was set in the first 5 years. So here you are, you're married to this man. You are the empath, right? Which means an empath is highly codependent. So I'm just going to give you a little homework for yourself. You have to be unattached to his emotions. He's a controllers, and I know because I'm a controller. Controllers, we become that way because when we were young, it's how we survived our family of origin. So we survived by taking control of everything, right? And we feel when we're in our unhealthy state, we're just like trying to bang all the pieces in place. Where an empath, the high supporter like um, you rely on the controller a lot. And it's a very unhealthy collaboration. When he's in his unhealthy state, you don't have to make it about you. You can unplug from him and say, you don't have to take on his emotions, right? My husband's the supporter within our relationship, and I have to literally tell him I'm in my tantrum. So when I get triggered, it's like a tantrum, like your husband. I start screaming and yelling, right? It's my trigger, right? My wound to work on. So when your husband is in that triggered state, you don't have to make it about you. You can say, okay, I'm letting you have your moment. You're not feeling great. I'm unplugging because I don't want to feel that. I get to feel what's good for me. This is where you get to set up your boundary and say, I get to feel good simply because I want to, right? And I want you to see your inner child. She had that pink bubble, remember? So I don't know if it's
Yes.
pink or I don't know what color feels the best to you, but I want you to plug into that color. I want you to see like a cord and you're plugging the cord from your husband and you're plugging it into whatever color feels good to you in that moment. Mine changes sometimes, but you're going to plug into that and you're going to say, he's not my source. You might have to say it out loud till you really get it. But this goes for anyone because you did it with your dad. You plugged into your dad's, right? You took on his emotion. You're going to have to learn how to take that plug out. It doesn't go to your kids. It doesn't go to anything except for what you choose because you get to choose your emotional state. And it also does not help your husband when you feel his emotions with him. It actually makes his bigger. But when you unplug it and you give him the space and say, hey, you're going through something, I totally get it. Sometimes I go through stuff and you get to handle that yourself. But it's
Yeah,
not about me.
it's like reactions turn into chain reactions,
It can.
and then it just kind of
But
cycles around.
but he who has the strongest will always wins. So with my clients, and of course, we develop this over weeks of really learning the new identity. As we unplug from these old identities that you chose and adapted very young in life, you get to now choose the new identity with what you're going to hold, which is like the healthiest version of me doesn't have to feel all the shitty things that other people around me are feeling. Like I don't have to experience that. And you also get to have compassion for that little girl who felt those things because she's still feeling those things.
Yeah.
So, and another thing that I noticed is that you didn't allow yourself to feel the emotions. And that could be that you just, because I find with people that I work with that haven't really done much of the inner work before, it's harder for them to connect. It might take a couple of times for them to finally let themselves feel the emotions. But oftentimes, I just want to give you an understanding that those emotions, you're still feeling them. You're just not allowing them to be emoted. So, for instance, when your husband gets angry and you feel that pain, that pain of being buried alive, it is that little girl who has not felt all of her pain yet. So little by little, if you can allow her that pain to come up, I don't care if my husband used to laugh when I cried. And I had to learn to be, I don't care what you think about my pain. It doesn't matter, right? You get to feel all those emotions because as you feel it, it moves out of your body. You know, that lighter feeling you felt, it's because we literally remove stuck energy inside of your body.
Right.
And if you did that on a daily basis, little by little, you're going to free up space for you to be the new identity and not give a fuck what anyone else is feeling. Just be in your fully empowered state.
Yeah, I completely understand that because sometimes I feel like if I cry, and especially in front of my husband, it just makes him even more mad because he's not understanding why I'm crying.
No, it's because he's triggered because he hates himself. A controller really hates himself. Like I had to deal with my self-hate, right? So just know when he gets angry and reactive, that's his pain. He's not letting him connect. Anger is a secondary reaction. The first thing you really feel is pain. And because you don't want to feel the pain, you go to anger. Men have been so talked out of their emotions that they are very disconnected from them. So, and with your husband at the age he is, like, it's hard to teach an old dog, new tricks, but he's not too far gone. As you start to heal yourself, he's going to change. He's going to shift. But you have to make your healing journey not about him. It has to be about you.
How do I get him to understand that? Like,
You gotta,
I started
you got to be
meditation.
okay that you got to be okay that he doesn't. He's not, my husband did not understand when I started my healing journey. He did not get it. And it was very uncomfortable for him because we had been together so long.
He almost feels like a sense of neglect, like I'm not putting enough energy into him because I'm trying to heal myself. And I'm like, but I'm trying to work on me to better myself for myself and you, for us. But he feels like neglected because I'm not giving him that time, that hour that I'm meditating or the hour that I'm taking a specific course to help my inner self.
You have to be okay that he's not okay because he's a controller. And whenever a controller feels out of control, we start to like grasp at stuff. So he's going to try and rein in the control even more because he feels like you're out of control for him. It feels unsafe to him. So he's got to be on his own journey and he may not get yours. And it sounds like you've already made a decision to heal, which means he's going to have to do two things. He's either going to have to rise up with you, and mind you, that might take a minute, right? Or he's not going to be in your life. It's going to be one of the two. But sounds like you're at an impasse because you're like, hey, I've already made my decision. And I remember when I was in that place with my husband, I looked at him and I said, I don't know what this means for our marriage, but I just know I'm healing myself and I'm getting happy. And you get to make your own choice. But your husband is going to have to make a choice for himself. And you get to not give a fuck what that choice is. And I know that's hard to say because, we love who we love. But at the same time, if you're not loving you with all of you, then what good is any of it?
Yeah.
So you will call him upward when you start to love you, set those boundaries and say, this is who I get to be. And I hope you choose that for you. Right.
Right.
And be unattached to what he chooses because we all have free will. I would love for my kids to choose to heal themselves and for my husband. And I want the best for everyone, but I can't make them.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so I do believe that most of us come to our healing journey because we're in so much pain and we just see no other option. And I know that was me. It was like, I'm either taking my life or I'm going to heal it. And there's nothing in between because I can't do another second. I can't live another second with all this pain. Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk at all about, the programs I have, and if you're interested in taking the next step on your journey, I'd love to get on a call with you. or if you feel like you already got your stuff going on and you're good, then I hope you got all that you I hope I took you as far as you could.
I'm definitely interested. I've always looked into, doing something like this and especially healing trauma from like childhood. I do have a lot of like suppressed memories, and I know that I kind of like stored them away because of something that happened in that moment that I just don't want to remember it. So memories will come up with my sisters, and I'm like, that never happened. And they're like, yes, it did. I'm like, I don't remember that at all. Or
Yeah.
it'll be vice versa. So I've always been interested in working on myself, even from childhood, even as 38 years old.
Yeah. Well,
I
I can tell
know that
because
the
you're here.
possibilities are endless. Like it's doable. It's possible to heal your childhood traumas in
Yeah.
your adulthood.
Oh yeah. Yep, literally what I do. Well, I loved being on that journey with you because, I go back with you. I'm in the room with you. So I consider it such an honor to be that you allowed me into your psyche, your memories. It's pretty beautiful. Well, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And drink a lot of water because we detox the crap out of you today. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Have a
Thank
good day,
you. You
darling.
too. Bye.
Bye.